Hello, let me show you an example of a Marionette script. It was one of my first exercises with Marionette and I have still very much fun with this example. First, let's talk about the utilization, the features of the script, and after that let's look a little bit deeper inside the used technique. I focus on the concept of functions and special manipulations. I recommend for detailed information about using Marionette the webinar and tutorial files, movies from Vectorworks Incorporated. They can really explain that very fantastic. This group of trees is part of a Marionette object and can be easily reshaped by a polyline, polygon, etc. The functionality in the object info palette is a grid distance, and we have an offset, a random offset of this grid distance by a minimum and maximum value, and we've got density which the highest value is 100%. Also, we have the possibility to write a symbol folder into this first field, and all symbols out of the symbol folders which will insert randomly. Let's take another folder, and as we can see, all objects out of this folder are inserted randomly inside this polygon object. Before we click now inside this Marionette script, first let's take a look at the components, at the nodes and wrappers I used in this example. First, I used the wrapper node to draw a grid over the polygon, exactly like the example in the Marionette tutorial. Second, I used this node for move the points away from their place. I called that the shaker node. Third, I took this node to delete randomly some points out of the grid. This could also be used for a very fair and technical way to reduce guest lists. Fourth, for the symbols, I used the shuffler node, which simply rearrange randomly my symbol list. And last but not least, I used this symbol node for placing symbols into the drawing. Now let's take a look inside the Marionette script of this object. It's not very complicated how I arranged these nodes. It's simply aligned them together. I had to make one special modification of the bounding box node, because without this additional line in the bounding box node, I was not able to reshape the polygon from outside of the Marionette object. I just could reshape it in the control geometry container of the object. And the same script like for the trees is used for this human formation, and you can say this is not very realistic for moving and living objects like humans or sheeps. And you're right, maybe this could be a further update from the script to have a pop-up to say which kind of objects should be placed inside the area. And what I can say, it is maybe a tool which can show formations for armies, like these Roman formations. They was famous for their formations, or a formation like this, maybe Chinese army or US army, and formations like this, which has a bigger offset, a random offset from the grid. Maybe let's call this the Swiss army. We are famous for Swiss army knife, and maybe because we have a low density, we are hard to hit as well. So this example here also based on randomness, but I just put it here for a better show, and maybe this one I try to explain another time. Hope you have fun with my presentation of this example. I'm really looking forward for the next time. Wish you a good time. Bye bye. Tschüss.